You know those old home remedies, the ones passed down for generations? Ever wonder if there's any real science to them? Well, today we're diving into exactly that, how some everyday things from your kitchen are now being seen as serious contenders in one of the biggest fights modern medicine has ever faced. But let's kick things off with a pretty chilling thought. What would actually happen if the medicines we count on, the ones we take for granted every single day, just stopped working? All right, so let's get into it. That scary question, it's not for some sci-fi movie. It's happening. We are facing a massive global health crisis called antibiotic resistance. And it's given rise to these things we call superbugs. So how did we get here? Well, it's basically evolution in fast forward. Because we've been using antibiotics so much, and let's be honest, not always perfectly, the bacteria have learned. They've adapted. They've built up defenses, creating these super strains that our most powerful drugs just can't touch anymore. This is a huge, huge problem, and it's forcing scientists to get creative and look for answers in some really unexpected places. And that's what brings us right here to nature's ancient medicine cabinet. For thousands of years, people all over the world have been using plants to fight infections. And these plants didn't develop these powerful compounds by accident. This is their own personal defense system, perfected over millennia to fight off their own microbial enemies. So now, modern science is finally taking a really close look, searching for solutions that have been hiding in plain sight. And we're going to focus on some pretty familiar faces here, things you probably have in your pantry right now. We're talking garlic, turmeric, ginger, and honey. These aren't just for adding flavor anymore. They are being put under the scientific microscope, tested for their power against pathogenic bacteria. And that's just a fancy way of saying the bad kinds of bacteria, the ones that make us really sick. So how in the world do you measure the bacteria-killing power of something like garlic in a lab? Well, it turns out the whole thing plays out on a tiny microscopic battlefield, right inside a petri dish. Scientists use this really elegant, standardized method called the Kirby-Bauer test. Here's how it works. First, they take a plate of nutrients and spread a smooth, even layer of bacteria across it. They call it a lawn. Then, they take these little paper discs that have been soaked in, say, garlic extract, and they place them right on top of that bacterial lawn. They let it all incubate for a bit, and if the garlic is working, you'll see a perfectly clear ring form around the disc where no bacteria could survive. And that clear ring, it's got a name. It's called the Zone of Inhibition, or ZOI for short. It is a direct, visual measurement of power. It's simple. The wider that bacteria-free zone is, the stronger the substance is at killing that specific bacteria. It's a really brilliant way to see, right before your eyes, just how effective something is. So you can guess what happened next. Scientists put our kitchen staples into the ring, using this exact test, all looking for the biggest zone of inhibition. And let me tell you, it didn't take long to find a clear, undisputed champion. When they put garlic, ginger, and turmeric head-to-head against these bad bacteria, well, the difference in their power wasn't just noticeable. It was dramatic. Okay, just look at this data. You've got ginger and turmeric, and they're both doing a pretty respectable job, right? They're creating these bacteria-free zones of about 13.5 and almost 11 millimeters. That's not bad at all. But then there's garlic. Wow, it just completely, utterly blows them out of the water. 29.9 millimeters? That is a massive difference. We're not talking about it being just a little bit better. It's in a completely different league. In the world of microbiology, that is a knockout punch. It clearly shows that garlic is the most powerful germ killer in this lineup. But why? What's its secret? Well, the answer isn't just about raw power. It's about strategy. See, it turns out garlic and turmeric are fighting the same war, but with completely different battle plans. It's all about their molecular tactics. Here's an easy way to think about it. Garlic launches a direct, all-out assault. It's a shock and awe campaign designed to overwhelm and kill. Turmeric, on the other hand, is much more subtle. It's on a clever sabotage mission designed to weaken the enemy from the inside out. So let's look at garlic's strategy first. Its power comes from a single, highly aggressive compound that goes right for the bacteria's most vital systems. And the secret weapon's name is Allicin. What's so cool is, it doesn't even exist in a whole garlic clove. It's only created in that moment when you crush or chop it. And its strategy is brutal. Allicin attacks and disables the bacteria's most essential enzymes. It's like throwing a wrench into the gears of a machine. It shuts down their metabolism, their ability to copy their DNA, their ability to make proteins, everything. It causes a total system failure. And that is why you see that huge zone of inhibition. Okay, now let's switch gears to turmeric. Its strategy is way more about intelligence than brute force. It is a true bacterial sabotage mission. Turmeric's secret agent is a compound called curcumin, and it does something absolutely brilliant. It jams the bacteria's communication network. This system, called quorum sensing, is basically how bacteria coordinate their attacks, like they're texting each other to build these slimy, protective fortresses called biofilms. Well, curcumin shuts down their signal, so they can't organize, they can't build their shields, and that leaves them totally disorganized and vulnerable. So you have this direct assault from garlic, and this clever sabotage from turmeric, and this is where things get really, really interesting. It opens up this thrilling new idea: teamwork. I mean, what if we could combine these totally different strategies to create something even more powerful? This is the whole concept of synergy. The idea is that these natural compounds can act as antibiotic resistance modifiers. They can basically become a sidekick to our old antibiotics. They go in, smash the superbug's defenses, and clear a path so that a drug that stopped working can suddenly be effective all over again. In this summary table really lays out how you could build a super team. You've got garlic's Allicin, that's your heavy hitter, bringing the most immediate power, even if it is a bit unstable. Then you have turmeric's Curcumin, that's your master saboteur, perfect for taking down enemy defenses. And then you add in something like Manuka honey, which launches this multifaceted attack of both chemical and physical stress, giving it incredibly high, stable power. You can see how these different roles could work together, right? And this isn't just a fun thought experiment. This research is already pointing towards some incredible real-world applications. Scientists are actively exploring how this knowledge could lead to natural food preservatives, to advanced wound dressings that can treat drug-resistant infections, and of course, to brand new therapies that pair these natural agents with our conventional antibiotics. It really leaves you with a pretty wild thought. As we face this terrifying threat of superbugs, it's just incredible to think that the key to our future medicines might not come from a billion-dollar lab after all, but that it might have been hiding in plain sight, right in our own kitchens, all along.